Welcome back, folks. What's good? Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to be taking a look at just one specific patch. We like to do that from time to time. Sometimes we'll show you how a sound was programmed from beginning to end. Other times we want to just point out one little trick that you can do with it, or maybe a little feature that's kind of hidden or not really on the surface that you can get a lot of mileage out of. Other times, like today, we just want to sit down and spend a little bit of time with you and one sound and share our thoughts about it. What was our reason for creating it? What's the inspiration? How can you actually use that that sound in a project? Okay, and we want you to have really high level, top shelf, professional results with our sounds. So that's what these sessions are all about. And without further ado, we'll just jump right into this. This sound specifically is called In the Shadows, recent release in the Deeper Volume 1 pack over on SoundFreqs.com. That's sound-freaks.com. Go ahead and grab this pack right now. Follow along with the video. Probably get a lot out of it. The Deeper series is a collection of really deep cinematic sounds for modern music production, video game production, film scoring, you name it. These sounds are incredibly flexible, deeply programmed, and we spent a lot of time dialing these things in to make sure that they work as well as they possibly can with all the other sounds that we've released in the past. And in these packs, you're going to find stuff like atmospheres, impacts, sequences, but one thing that they all have in common is their flexibility and their relevance, and they're pretty timely sounds for the current trends we're seeing across all these different mediums. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about what makes a good cinematic sound and why. Okay, when you're adding an element that's incredibly dramatic or deep or whatever, you're doing it because you want to make your experience with your art more immersive. Maybe these are sounds that are backing up visuals in a video game or a film or something, and you need to have that perfect balance of supportive versus dominant. Okay, and if there are dominant elements in your soundscape or your sound effect or your drone or whatever the case may be, you need to have control over that dominance. You can't allow it to overtake the story. Okay, the visuals are brought to life by sound. You can also kill them through sound, so you need to be careful. Okay, so that's one aspect of programming a sound like this, is understanding where subtlety, where the lines of subtlety and dramatic and impactful and all these different things come together, and how those lines can be blurred to take full advantage of the different emotional strings that you can tug on with your audience, right? You want to transform your audience from being a passive audience, listeners, viewers, whatever, to fully engaged. Okay, you want them to really buy into this immersive experience, and as that happens, and we've all experienced this, so this should ring a bell. As you're going deeper down the rabbit hole, you're beginning to formulate these expectations, and anticipation is growing, and you think you've figured out potentially what might come next. And so you're kind of getting more and more pulled into the process of these scenes, right? And you may not even realize that some of these emotions that are being triggered were triggered intentionally by the people that programmed these sounds and these visuals for you, or created them, I should say. And those are the moments where you want to throw a curveball at your audience members. Okay, those are the moments, because it's going to catch them off guard. It's going to really entice their imagination. It's really going to make them start guessing, and that's what you want. You want them to be impressed and blown away and caught off guard. And you want those moments to be just that, just a moment in the big scheme of things. Okay, so you need to be able to push and pull. And those are the basic thought processes behind this type of sound. Okay, having landed lots of sounds and music in all sorts of productions all over the world, these sounds in the Deeper series are a great way to throw these types of elements into your own projects without ever having to know how to actually do all of that deep programming, okay? And that's what we love about this whole thing with SoundFreqs and our wonderful community, is that we get to help you get the most out of sounds out of really complex tools. You really don't ever have to go to school for it or anything. It's pretty great. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to play just one sustained note, okay? There's no automation here in my DAW, and you can see that there is indeed just one note in the piano roll. Okay, so there's no trickery happening here, and we've dialed all of our macros down. The point of the rest of this video is just to show you how much you can do with just the macro controls alone. Okay, our end goal is that you should never have to touch more than those 8 knobs to accomplish 99.9% of the things that you ever want to do with our sounds. All right, so let's do this. We've turned up the cutoff just a smidge, just like 1 notch, just to get a little bit more out of the sound right out the gates. The rest of it's going to be achieved through simple point and click with a mouse. I don't have a MIDI controller set up. None of these things have been mapped out. So you're going to hear one change at a time. And you'll just have to use your imagination as to what else you can accomplish and how many more doors are opened when you're turning more than 1 knob at a time. All right? Or automation, whatever floats your boat. So here we go. Starts off nice and subtle, right? I'm just going to explain a few of these things. Mode, this mode knob here, is switching between serial and parallel. The mix is moving between mix 1 and mix 2, these filters. Okay. Buzz is going to give you just a little bit more grit. Just a little bit of phase here. And change our mix to bring in the other filter. Okay, if we want to change the mode, we don't have to be in full serial or full parallel at any point in time. We can find a happy medium for what we're trying to accomplish. The kill bass and the whoa knobs, they're the big ones here. As you can hear, just with the changes that we've made right now, it's kind of enhancing some of the programming that we've done here. It's had just a little bit more trouble. Okay, this kill bass, as you can see, it's been assigned to control the pitch parameters of all 3 oscillators. Let's play with this whoa knob just a bit. That's pretty cool. Of course, if you really wanted to take it all the way across, you can. All right, let's get back to playing with the pitch manipulation a bit more. Let's turn up our buzz, maybe add a bit more phasing, open our sound up a bit more. Watch this. Pretty sweet control. You don't need much. When this comes back, it'll be big. All right, let's bring this all down. And we'll take a quick look at what kind of stabs, what kind of effects we can get out of having some stabs in here. Watch this whoa knob here. So obviously we can crush it pretty well. Alright, looks like our loop has ended, or our region has anyway. So just a few minutes of modulation stuff for you there. Hopefully, if you haven't looked at this patch in depth very much, this has been kind of eye-opening for you. You can actually get quite a bit out of all of these sounds. But In the Shadows is the patch we've been looking at today. Again, you can find it in the Deeper 1 collection. Deeper Volume 1 collection, I should say. And grab that at SoundFreqs.com. Yeah. Here's hoping you can use this this patch in one of your upcoming projects. And speaking of, as always, feel free to submit any project that you've worked on, whether it be music or video or what have you. Feel free to submit it through the SoundFreqs.com website to our Artist Spotlight program, and we will help get the word out about what you're doing with our sounds. We reach a very large worldwide audience, and we'd be happy to share our stage time with you. Thanks again, as always, for checking it out, folks. We're going to see you again soon. Keep on rocking. Cheers.